Alright, YouTube land. Back to the diff. Okay, so I had to take a little time and look up specs, and I'm going to loosen up a couple things and show you guys a few things. One of the things that these carriers do, other than setting lash between your gears, they make sure that there's no deflection. So you want this thing in there straight as an arrow, guided like a tomahawk, with a perfect lash. Now, since we're using, the old gears, we want the same lash. But 600,000. But this is what I wanted to show you guys. This is the other thing that these things do. If you look, you gotta make sure. Do you see that movement? Let me get down real far here. If you didn't see that, you'll see it now. Watch. It's not much, but it's enough to. Hopefully, you guys can see that. Well, anyway, this is going to be one of the things to address. So the first thing you want to do is just kind of feel. Now, I torqued these down to right around 30 foot-pounds. I just kind of cranked on them a little bit. You don't want to do too hard yet because, well, you're not ready yet. The second thing is you want to make sure that the races aren't torqued all the way down here and here, because you want them to move. And actually, once you get these in and start tightening them down, you want to run these caps in, a little bit this way, a little bit that way, and that way it moves that race in there to make sure it's kind of centered in this hole. Otherwise, you're going to have a race that's kind of cockeyed in there, and you're trying to move it, and it just, oh man, you don't want that. And God forbid you crack a race. I mean, that's even worse. So this is where just taking your time, make adjustments, and do all that kind of stupid stuff where it'll pay off in the long run. So again, you do it right. And I know that this may be not the right environment, and I know that there's other tools, but this is as close as people could get at home, and this is what I was shooting for. So you guys don't have to be scared. You weekend, do it right, take your time. And I know I've broke it up to like 1,001 videos, but I want to make sure you got step by step, and then some of the difficulties I ran into. Watch what you're doing, and you take these caps off, make sure you mark them. There's a little blue mark over here from the factory. They matched right up, of course, because of that blue mark, so look for that on yours too. Some markings before you take them off, but make sure you mark side to side, because they are different and they will caulk different. So first things first, so what the book says is that I tighten this to 0 lash. Okay, and then I go 1.5 notches. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get you back up here on the, you can see all my glorious work in action. Oh God, some dude that's really hurt trying to do this stuff. Call me a whistle. Okay, so what I'm going to do, because these things are so weird, I'm going to set my magnet. You got to set it in like a weird place. So if you do a dial indicator on this, which I highly highly suggest that you do, you don't have to necessarily do that from the get-go, because otherwise you'll be sitting there with this adjustment for eons on end. So what I'm doing is just kind of tighten it up a little bit, Now, I'm kind of also looking for my lash. Now that seems like a lot, but that's probably about right. And tightness just a hair more. I'm going to go over this side. I'm going to go until it feels like I've hit the bottom. Ooh, okay, so see that, boys? Ingrown. Sorry, that's here. Go that way and go this way. Now, why am I doing that? Because I know that I'm close to my latch, my backlash on my gear, so I don't want to. I want to tighten evenly at this point. I might be off on it, but when you do these, you kind of have to do them in sequence. You just can't crank down on one side and call it done. You know, so what I'm looking for is I'm just using my eye, but it's not right because I don't have a gauge on it. So the first thing before I set this lash, you may have to set up your dial indicator 3 or 4 times to make sure that this is right. First, I want to make my cat tight. You know, just getting rich. Oh, that'll go a little bit. See, that one could go a little bit. And this is where you're tightening down in difference, so you know that you have equilibrium in there. Now, when I'm moving this sucker, I feel like I'm pretty good here. I can tell I'm not on this side. No. What the book says to get to that 0 lash, then you put these side notches, you know, because you gotta remember we had a preload on this. Well, what's the load on these bearings? That's a good question to ask. And what they say, following the book, I don't know, Schilt manuals or something. I found it online. Did a research, cross-referenced it a couple different times, so pretty confident on the specs I got. And again, Johnny O'Donnell hooked me up, and I feel that he got me exactly what I needed, all one package. And again, shout out to you, buddy. So I think that we have the right backlash. Does it move that up and down though? We're gonna find out. So, old fart. So, holy shit. Oh god. In a second. Let's see if we can set up where you guys can see what's going on. If that's about right. Hey, okay, I think we're good. Alright, if you remember the first video, remember the first video that I put out. That dial indicator, when I stuck it on here, the wibble wobbled all the way around, and ended up having problems with it. So what I ended up doing, I don't know if you guys remember or not, was I just put a pair of ice, so it's a big C-clamp on it to hold it into place. And I guess what I'm going to do this time around, I now have a good solid base. I don't have to worry about right, or is it wrong? God. Honestly, my shoulder's killing me. I should be doing this shit. But I'm a stubborn fucking. Okay. So again, we're right on the toothy. Now that thing's not moving. It doesn't matter where you set it up at. You just want it right on the end of that tooth. Alright. Now, I don't know if you guys can see that. See, now I know I'm not making good contact. So, fault here. And see, this is why I said you're gonna have to do this a couple times. The only reason I'm saying this is because right now we're getting nothing on that gauge. So it means I'm too close to the gears. I'm back this one a little bit. Come around, tighten the other side. And I'm not really tightening the other side, and I just, push it up until it feels like it stops. Now, yeah, that damn thing's actually starting to move. Alright. We should be getting some kind of movement out of it. I mean, we are set up right, so what do? Back off a smidge. Tighten a smidge. And this is where I was saying, you don't have to necessarily go with the side latch yet. I'm getting some, but I'm either totally fucking up here. Oh, my back. Yep, this sucks. But this is what you do when you get it at home, man. I mean, you do things that are shitty. This is a little shitty. Okay, so I'm going to try to get a little bit better angle up here. Okay, now we can see some shiznit going on here. Okay, I can already tell you that's way out. So, what am I gonna do? Go back the other way because I wasn't getting a good reading, obviously. That's crazy. Now we're talking. Alright, try to get you in the light here. How much is it? I don't know. Let's find 0. 0. Here's 0. Here's 0. Okay. Let me get my flash. Alright, so yeah, that's fine. Damn light. We're trying to do this shit at midnight. Alright, so 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I know. There's somebody in TV land there just laughing her asses off at me. Old. Thanks. Alright. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so we're out. Alright. Walking in just, and this is where you gotta be minute. Take your time with it. Yeah, we're gonna take your time with it. Tighten there. In there. Alright. A little too far, wouldn't you say? Alright, so this is starts where it gets the notches, the count. Watch your notch. On the hole. So I'm like halfway between there. Well, guess what? I'm gonna move 1 notch. One notch. Let's see what that do for it. Hey, we're getting better. Okay, same thing. Half notch. Where is it? Half notch back. Okay. Alright, now we're making headway. Again, 1, 2, 3. I am where I need to be. And so moving it around, so I said about 0, 1, carry. Yeah. Wherever you end up at, you want to be another notch to a half. Want you basically another notch to a notch and a half when it's tight. That's what I say about the 0 clearance. You know, it's back in the book. how much you should dose, or what kind of torque you should have. It just 0. We're going the other way. I'm hoping that you guys can see that. Alright, let's count. 1, 2. Here. This goes. I know I'm good on my lash. Right? Good on that lash. And get you later. Oh, it's right there. What? Just my lash is good. Be okay. This is where the mesh, that's where the mesh comes in. Alright, now, I'm not going to put these there. And the only reason I'm doing that is because when I'm spinning this, for whatever reason, they want to back out, which they shouldn't after I torque down. But we'll get there. I know I'm taking forever, and I don't care because these are the finals. I'm putting this to take a little time. And I guess that's why I've taken so long on the video. I want to like anything. What to do? It's this way. We tighten this way. I don't know if they move. I don't know if that was. Torque wrench, I mean. Torque wrench. Oh, good. Okay, so lash again. Check the lash. Got these capped. I'm holding this up here. We talk about this. So whatever number that is. The light. And this is why. I don't know if you guys can see that moving or not. In the morning, I'll go ahead and tighten these down. But there's, it's a little cool out. Tomorrow is going to be a little hot. I will check. I might actually just double check, go through everything. There's nothing wrong with, going through it twice. As far as I can see, we're in, I should be set ready to go, and I'm pretty happy about it. So with that said, guys, I hope did it for you. I think you can get it the rest of the way from here. And the rest of the procedures, just follow the oils, and that's your majors. Sorry it took so long, but I honestly, my shoulder is more giving you yucks video. Oop, I almost didn't. Your mesh. Next video will be mesh. We got a mesh. We got to mesh this. Mesh, mesh, mesh.